Not the worst hand. I think I would keep it if I had white mana. I just don't. This deck has not been playing like it's a 20 land deck. Okay, go to 4. Not ideal. I really just want to keep this Unearth. Dang it, I just really want to keep the Unearth. I think I can't, and then we just have to, you know, believe in the deck that we'll find a Greasefang. Deck from I played bad decks. Could have also maybe kept the 7-card hand, right? Okay, so we're playing against Living End. So I get to maybe put my money where my mouth is. We're probably going to lose because we mulled to 4. They're taking my Satyr Wayfinder. Maybe we get Thoughtseize bugged. Maybe draw another Wayfinder. We don't. I think I could put Breya's Apprentice in the graveyard here because of Living End. I think I should just put a Parhelion in the yard though. I'll keep Unearth over Engineer. Definitely would have been better this game. This is interesting. I want to see you play though some number of Unlicensed Hearse over some number of Relic of Progenitus, and I don't want to see the full 4 Elder Deep Fiends. I think that's too many. I think you can like pretty easily do something like 2 Elder Deep Fiends, 3 Release to the Winds, 3 Hearse, 4 Aether Vial. I do really want to get Vial in this deck. Maybe Vial's a little slow, but it does power up a lot of your cards, makes your Valkyrie combo better. Okay, so them griefing when I have no cards in hand definitely means they're gonna play Living in this turn. Okay, it actually just means they didn't realize I had no cards in my hand, so we're getting in. Oh, sorry. I just noticed you. Yeah, I think I want to be on the Inverter Oracle plan game 1. I don't know why you would like. What matchup is Thassa's Oracle Inverter super good against? Matches where you want to win the game, you know. I would just be on the plan game 1. I think you're a little lost in the sauce with these in the sideboard. And then maybe at that point you just need to be off the Release to the Winds, off the Elder Deep Fiends instead. And probably still can't fit Aether Vial in, to be honest. I mean, if I can find a Greasefang, I guess we can't even crew can't even crew because of the Wakers, we'll just concede. I'm going to bring in 4 copies of Endurance, 4 copies of Fulminator Mage. Grist I find is kind of slow in this matchup usually. I think I'm going to cut that, cut the Spellskite, cut the Can't Stay Away, cut Parhelion number 3, I think it's pretty cuttable. Got the Wrenn and Six. I have 32 creatures right now, so much. Don't want to cut the Unearth, so I'm bringing in all of these. I don't know what to cut. Everything's so good. Could create Breya Greasefang. I mean, even then, it's just like not nearly enough. And we couldn't either. The Breya's Apprentice had no power. There were 2 Waker of Waves in play. I don't know. I don't know what to cut. Cut second Parhelion. I think you want 2. It's close though. Satyr. No, Satyr's so good. Satyr's insane against Living End. You can't ever cut Satyr. Everything is so good here. I think I'm gonna cut 4th Engineer and 4th Bird. I don't know though. 4th Unearth. I don't know. It's so hard to cut Unearth when you bring in 4 Fulminators. I don't have it in my heart. I think those are my thoughts on the processor deck. Puts on the mold of 5. Do you ever drop lands? It's maybe okay to drop a land in this matchup where your mana dorks almost never die early. Don't hate the idea. Okay, lots of good top decks. Didn't really find anything. I think we'll get my Triome here. Pass back. When was the last time we cast Company? I think we cast a Company last match, didn't we? Alright, any Force of Negations? Nope. So I think we're going to play Endurance Satyr Wayfinder. Satyr Wayfinder is just like such a big priority for me to fill up the yard with creatures in this matchup. Although maybe just finding Goblin Engineer there was better because I have Greasefang in hand, but I think I can play a longer game. Did only hit one creature off the Wayfinder. Still pretty good. Cycle Street Wraith. Street Wraith really good here to like let them if they want a living end this turn, really good. Although they probably have to take another turn to set up. Unearth is interesting draw here. I think I'm just gonna main phase a Coco again, see what we find. Another Wayfinder. And a Greasefang, so if I find Engineer or Parhelion, I get to Unearth and try to Greasefang them, but I missed. I think this is probably an okay spot though to Unearth a Wayfinder and have 4 more looks at Parhelion. At the very least, we're just milling 4 more cards against the living end deck. Now our graveyard is just, you know, full of creatures. Yeah, I know we only have 2 hits in the deck. I mean, but, you know, the first Satyr Wayfinder trigger at least was we had Engineer as a hit because we could unearth it. In terms of an Engineer too, though. I'm feeling alright. Okay. So we're doing this, huh? We're lighting this candle. Okay, they have a Riverwinder too. I think I'm not shuffling that living end back in for them. Cool. Okay, good top deck, huh? Method, thank you for Twitch Prime, appreciate you. I think on the draw, I'll cut the garden for the mana dork. Really want to be able to, like, if you have Fulminator, you really want to have a mana dork on the draw. This matchup's got to be okay. You just have so much mill, you have 4 endurance. Got endurance in this hand, got mill in this hand, got Parhelion Greasefang. Easy keep, right? Have so much. Okay, let's go to 5. Obviously don't love it. I guess I'm just putting back both on Earths and going for a turn 3 Greasefang, which is like unfortunately not very likely to be super live on the draw against a living end opponent who kept 7. Although now that was kind of like best possible, huh? Sleep is wrong. Take it to 3 months. Just gives us, obviously, like, you know, this kind of slows us down a lot, but it gives us so much insulation against living end. Method Man, think of the 2-pack. Obviously, they have living end plus endurance, you know, good beats. That's for a deck tech. You can post a link in the chat. And then also thank you for your subscription. Sleep is wrong with the 3. Yeah, you can do a deck tech. Crack the code. Okay, please don't endurance me. Okay. Guess they're just gonna try to play through it. Go to combat. Crew. And so then post-combat I can go engineer for Breya's Apprentice, then engineer the Parhelion into an Apprentice here. Probably not going to fetch a swamp against the Street Wraith. Although, I don't know, you never know. I almost did it. It's very dangerous for me to ever say anything like that, because I just feel like I inevitably will misclick. Deck tech for pinch, so pinch in the queue after Method Man. If you post a link in the chat, I can take a look. Doing pretty good here. Teamer Og 10th. So I've played a lot of Wilderness Reclamation on the stream. This list looks incredibly similar to what I like to play, but you're playing 2 Boseiju, 2 Engineered Explosives. I really do not like main decking Boseiju in the Reclamation list. I would usually much prefer to sideboard like 3 copies, and this will be good against like Hammer Time, Tron, Titan, Belcher. I'll do matchup with Mulligan. And to keep, put back the Can't Stay Away. Can't Stay Away, couldn't stay away from the hand. Yeah, I think the Veils are also like not necessary. Okay, and then we had a deck tech for pinch. If somebody had told me I would see Greasefang being Living End, I would have known I'd be watching Aspiring Spike. It's funny. Knight of the Reliquary Titania. Okay, cool. I played a deck kind of similar to this recently. Let me pull it up. So it looks like we're up against Creativity, which Spellskite is randomly amazing against. Or, I guess it's good against Creativity. X equals 1. Let me get my garden. Sorry, I can't find the Kieran list. Okay, so recently I played a green-white list kind of similar to this that was playing Celestial Kieran and Ugin's Conjurant to have like this 2-card Armageddon combo that lines up well against against a lot of the more slower big mana decks that this archetype tends to struggle against. This archetype tends to struggle a lot against Tron Titan combo, and so having this Armageddon effect was really powerful. I was playing Ranger Captain to tutor up your Elvish Reclaimer, tutor up Sentinel, tutor up Ugin's Conjurant, and also to protect the combo by sacrificing it. I thought that build was pretty interesting, and I think it allows you to play and like the reality is like Knight of the Reliquary is not a super good modern card. I had one in as an Eldarmy's Call Target, which was even kind of questionable, but I think that I had this conversation with somebody, but there's a lot of 3-mana creatures in modern that you have to untap with in order to get value out of them. There's I think a pretty long list that meets that description of 3-mana cards that you need to 3-mana creatures that you need to untap with to get value from. And the reality is that there's a ton of creatures like this. Knight of the Reliquary is one of them, and in a format with Teferi Time Raveler and Fatal Push and Solitude and Cascade cards, like these cards are, none of them are playable, including Knight of the Reliquary. You can play maybe one of in this deck, but it's still going to be underwhelming. That direction with the Ugin Conjurant Titania plan, I liked it. It has overlapping synergy with Titania. You can find that list on YouTube, Stream Decker. I couldn't find it in my whatever you call it, the MTGO logs. Okay, milled over a Greasefang is interesting. Let's try to find a land off the Wayfinder. Just put like a lot of creatures into play to be more resilient to Archon. And then I also think I want to try to Unearth or Can't Stay Away the Spellskite if it's possible this turn. Milled over a Seasoned Pyromancer too. I think I'll save that for Unearth. Just can't stay away the Spellskite. Fair enough. Is this the green-white deck? Thank you, Toby. Yeah, here's the green-white deck. It's playing Ranger Captain, Ugin's Conduit, Reclaimer, Sentinel, Giver. Oh, it's also an Aether Vial deck, which is good with your like Armageddon, Destroy All Lands plan. And I have one Knight of the Reliquary, and you seem like a Knight of the Reliquary fan. So like playing one is fine, but it's still like the worst card of the deck probably, to be honest. Okay, opponent seems to be struggling to find creativity, hopefully. Can minus this for 6 right now. They're attacking me. I think I take it. I think just having the creatures in play to sack to Archon triggers is important. Although this attack is maybe just even a bait, because they can put an Archon into play and they want me to sack my Grist. That could be what's happening right now. Yeah, Apprentice is a Goblin Engineer target that works well with Collected Company and Unearth. So like just, in my playtesting yesterday, like I just had a lot of spots where I already had Parhelion in the yard, and I just wanted to find something to like, you know, something else to put in the yard for like future Unearths or like to sack and bring back with Parhelion. And that's just like what the Breya's Apprentice and Spellskite are. It's not really any deeper than that. Oh, whoops, wrong color. Yeah, I think we just cast the Greasefang. Being consecrated, how to find not having new sets in a relatively long time. I was like super stressed out about it for a long time. I've talked about this a bunch, but yeah, this like 6-month span between set releases was something that was causing me some anxiety. But I don't know if that like anxiety and stress has like pushed me a little bit, but like the last few months I've had better brews than I've had all year, and makes me feel like I don't need the new sets to make good content. Pings an elemental token. Well, creativity would be for 3, and my opponent would have already cast it by now, surely, if they had finally found one. Can't Skype deny creativity. It only denies creativity if creativity X equals 1. It can stop one of the creativity X's though. When did Darn Emery start his spoilers? Yeah, the spoilers start like next week, I think. I don't have a spoiler card this season, unless I missed it in my email. I will say this: I am like so freaking excited for the new set though. I am like losing it. Oh, they had it the whole time. Okay. So I have 6 creatures in the yard. It's not really enough, is it? We're alive. I don't know, I should probably be conceding. Is there a way I can grist them for 20? I don't really think so. Yeah, I'm not gonna ultimate the grist next turn. Yeah, even if I can Parhelion, it's just not enough. Okay, Greasefang is worse than 3 Archons on the same turn, so it's actually garbage. Grist is actually really good against creativity, though. Like, it's good at answering, like, the first Archon. Can be annoying for them to deal with. I could be on the... I think the Fulminator Mage plan on the play makes a lot of sense. I think I'm pretty likely to cut them on the draw, but I think on the play this is fine. And we can do something just like cut the Wayfinders and cut the, like, Breya's Apprentice, because, again, just another combo matchup where you don't really want the Apprentice as much. So this hand needs to draw a land in the first 2 draws and not have the Hierarch die. I think I'll mulligan. But if this were a matchup where Hierarch was more likely to live, obviously it would have been more comfortable keeping. I think this hand we just have to put back the Unearth. Despite the Unearth not being bad here, we just need to be able to... Ooh. A sideboard card. I forgot that they play Leyline. Well, Fulminators don't fail me now. Maybe my Seasoned Pyromancer army will be enough also. Yeah, and yeah, game 2 we can bring in Liberator. Or game 3, sorry, if we get there. We have to get there though. Spellskite also can protect against creativity X equals 1, like we've been saying. Get to put some pressure into play here. Not a ton though. I'll discard the 2 graveyard cards against the Leyline though. Do some filtering. Been brewing with black midrange and explorer. I was wondering if Angel Tips are playing boarding and midrange. Thoughts these matchups. Reed Duke's been working on a lot of like explorer Rakdos content. I think he's got a guide even up on CFB Pro, or at least a video. But it's also like this question, like advice for playing Thoughtseize, Thoughtseize decks, Thoughtseize matchups is like, it's a super general question, and it's a very complicated topic too. I'm not going to play around Spell Pierce here. It's a very complicated topic with a ton of nuance, and players spend like their entire Magic career like answering that question and like learning to pilot these Thoughtseize decks, and like I can't just give you like a couple sentences. It's just a bit too wide of a question. Yeah, hardcast Parhelion in this game. Yeah, I mean, if my opponent just has creativity, they have Leyline into Pierce my Coco, creativity on 4, good beats. Yeah, the beats are good, huh? I mean, I know Spellskite would have been good against that, but I think in these kind of games where your opponent has like super efficient combo hate card, you just are not winning when they have Spell Pierce and the Transmogrify anyways most of the time. You're just not supposed to play around that much. I can draw Grist though. Okay, didn't draw the Grist this turn. Let's move on. If we say Rakdos Scam, if you mean like the sacrifice deck, I mean the Soul Herder deck is just like also, for me, has like serious pet deck syndrome, where I just love the slow ETB creature decks that have like such like variety in their game plan, have so much like complicated lines, and people don't know how to play against them. I'm always a sucker for that deck, I guess. Jordan, Inquisition and Mono Black Coffers list I have in the past, just like as like the 5th 1-mana discard spell though. It's never like really any deeper than that. Alright, Goblin Engineer showing off its Ragavan blocking abilities here maybe, and I will also say this is like the first fair matchup we've played, or one of the first ones. It's just been like so much combo today. They have a counterspell, they'll probably counterspell this. I'd rather them counterspell this than the Greasefang. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And I was thinking if it resolves, then I get to go freaking Greasefang plus Can't Stay Away next turn. Line did not play around very well around Spell Snare though. Are they gonna cast Grist? Looks like they're casting Grist. Love to draw land. Alright, I got my wish. Although, if I can't stay away the Greasefang, you know, they can... If they go like Lightning Bolt Greasefang in combat, then... Oh, they're supposed to do this on my main phase, right? So that way the Parhelion doesn't come back? Okay, awesome. So... I think I'm fine to kill the Grist. So just send both Angels at the Grist. Although if they had... No, I should just send one. If they had a removal spell, they would have used it. That was a little mistake there. A happy accident. And then I think with the Greasefang still in play, I can't stay away the Engineer, so I can have another Parhelion in the yard for next turn if this resolves. And if they kill the Greasefang, I can flash it back. They do have the Spell Pierce, though. Doing anything beginning combat is better, so Parhelion is in your hand instead of your yard. Yeah, I guess that's true. But I got 2 angles in play. Feeling pretty good. Can't stay away, definitely good in this matchup, too. Opponent's getting murky, it's fine. Yeah, we'll just end their career here. Okay, let's concede this to the onboard trick. We get to bring in the Endurances and the Grist. In this matchup, I think I wanted to go down 1 Parhelion, 3 Hierarchs, and I wasn't sure of the other card I wanted to cut. It was either like 4th Greasefang. I kind of considered. You probably can't do that. Maybe you just play 3 Endurance. I think it needs to be a 3-drop. I think I want all these other 3-drops more. This is definitely a good Breya's Apprentice matchup. This seems fine. Seems fine. Liberator for Hearse. Maybe. Yeah, maybe you should be. I think I'm on board. Probably not super easy to play around moon effects with this deck, but this does seem like a game where just going like Forest Swamp doesn't cost you that much. How's the plan B with the deck? I think it's pretty good. Usually a Coco Unearth deck with Grist, Seasoned Pyromancer. There's the Hearse. Definitely gonna have to plan B it up this game. Build over, I can't stay away. Think Wizards made Greasefang 4 power because of Parhelion? I think probably yes. I think it's really hard to, like, you know, like the very first thing I did when I saw what Greasefang does at the beginning of combat on your turn, return vehicle from graveyard to haste, I immediately looked at every vehicle in the format and I found Parhelion within like 2 minutes or something. So I think this interaction is like very intentional, and I think it's kind of elegant to some extent too, where maybe we're supposed to play this to get... No, sorry, I can still get the Sacred Foundry. You know, it's kind of elegant in the sense that Parhelion's not in standard, so it's like pretty safe to print this as a 4/3 for standard purposes, and then you have your standard card have a powerful interaction in older formats too. I think that is pretty good design. Wizards doesn't put forethought outside of standard. I mean, I think that take might have been fine like 4 or 5 years ago, 3 years ago maybe. But I think that like Magic design for the last 2 years, last 2 full years has been solid. Like basically since I liked Call Time. I would say whatever the set before Call Time was, that core set. Things have been pretty good. Maybe that's not as much time as I think it's been, though. Ikora? No, Ikora was busted. It was like Companions, Winota, a couple other cards, Triomes. Companions has been anything other than solid? Well, Companions are more than 2 years old, right? It's kind of my point, right? It's like Ikora is more than 2 years ago, right? Unless I'm just my conception of time is maybe a little off. Maybe that's a whoa moment. Ugh. Oh, are they gonna crew the hearse? If they crew the hearse, we actually don't have Greasefang in our hand. Ikora is just over 2 years, yeah. Yeah, Ikora, obviously that's set, you know, pretty bad, but okay, let's just draw Greasefang off the top. Nope. All right, it is officially Breya's Apprentice time. But I think things got like, yeah, so like after Ikora, like Core 21s, Zendikar Rising, Kalatam were fine. Obviously, like none of those sets were perfect. No Magic set is perfect though. Is Grist better than Apprentice? I think I kind of like the Apprentice here. They have Force. I guess they're just reading the Apprentice actually. Yeah, besides Modern Horizons 2, there's no such thing as a perfect set. M21 had Omnath? Okay, then that one was messed up. Although, I will also say, like, there's, like, a really big difference in card design when you move from... When you go past Ikora, card design gets really different. Like, but before Ikora, like you just have what people, you know, maybe a bit too much, but refer to as fire design, and you just have such push cards that like weren't play tested at all. And I think that style of design really changed after like Ikora specifically. I think like a lot of the mistakes like maybe after M21 or whatever the set Omnath was in, but. Like, Call Time had the mistakes with the Cascade mechanic and Tybalt's Trickery, Valky, but, like, Trickery had, like, a lot of elements that were built in that were, like, designed to fix it, and it looked like it was maybe going to be okay, and it wasn't okay. I don't know. Core wasn't the busted, it just had Companions. Well, it also had Winota and Triomes, which I think were like both like Winota specifically was a huge design mistake, but Triomes too are like really messed up. Like Winota is definitely like that fire design era card that's just like it just has so much text on it for no reason at all. Yeah, it also has Divide by 0, which is banned. Okay, let's concede. Let's bring in some Outland Liberators. I think especially on the play, we could probably afford to trim some Satyr Wayfinders. Maybe I just want to be on 2 Endurance, get the curve a bit cleaner. Yeah, I was just teasing about Divide by 0. Ugh. Coco is good. It's not that good. Keep this hand though. That's 23 months. My opponent has already spell snared me once this game. Yeah, but my main point is that like a lot of the criticisms we've like that have been like very like valid and accurate about like Wizards card design for the last few years, I think are like just not that warranted anymore. Like we can stop circle jerking a little bit because for nearly 2 years things have been pretty good. So 1 mana short of Greasefang Engineer, but maybe we could just hit both off of Collected Company. We don't. We have pretty good cards. Like the Spellskite here. You could argue 1 year since that's when MTGO came out. You could argue that. I think Modern Horizons 2 was the best set in Magic's history. I think that the power level impacted Modern in a way I really enjoyed. I'm still having now, like, you know, over a year later, tons of fun with the cards. I think that the power level has made Modern a really diverse and interactive and interesting place with lots of room for innovation. You can disagree, that's fine. There can be cards you dislike, that's fine. But also, no card from the set got banned. I think Modern has been like more popular and more interesting than it has been in like the last 5-6 years. I think Modern Horizons 2 was a great set. You can disagree, it's fine. I know a lot of people do disagree. But, you know, you can start your own stream, and it can just be the I hate Modern Horizons 2 stream, where you don't play Magic, you just talk about how you hate Modern Horizons 2. Man, I'm full of good ideas. What's the reason behind Apprentice? Yeah, just a creature target for Engineer, mostly, just as a one-of. No card from this set has been banned. Dude, when I was streaming before Modern Horizons 2 released, I would get daily, multiple times a day, like 3 or 4 times a day, every single stream, asking me how many cards I thought from Modern Horizons 2 would be banned. You have no idea how often I would get this question. How many cards do I think are going to be banned from Modern Horizons 2? And now that we're like, you know, a year past and 0 cards have been banned from the set, I just feel like it's noteworthy, you know? Okay, so I can't stop this with Spellskite, unfortunately. Yeah, but also, it's also not the best question. Like, how do I fucking know how many cards are going to be banned? Oh yeah, but Grief is still definitely getting banned for sure. Strange that they ping Spellskite. If they don't ping Spellskite, I can use Spellskite to redirect. Strange that they're subtletying Satyr Wayfinder, but I'm A-okay with it. It's going to sack the Engineer to kill the Murktide now. I thought Urza Saga was too pushed. I mean, Urza Saga and Ragavan are like Modern Horizons 2 is not a perfect set. There's no set is, but like Ragavan should not have had dash, I think, and I think that Urza Saga should not have been able to make a construct on chapter number 3, and I even think it's possible that they didn't intend for it to be quite frank, but you know, there's a difference between exactly Urza Saga and Ragavan being a little too pushed and you know, having a set that has cards like Oko, Uro, Arkham's Astrolabe, Once Upon a Time, Hogak, freaking Hogak. You know, like cards like this that just like, it just kind of like baffles your mind how they ever like saw the light of day. Astrolabe is a better one drop than Ragavan? Like, yes. No cap. Those cards aren't even a problem. The free elementals are way more OP. Those cards aren't even a problem. Oko, Uro, Mystic Sanctuary, Arkham's Astrolabe, Once Upon a Time aren't even a problem. The elementals are way more OP. Those cards aren't even a problem. The elementals are OP. Then Hogak? What are we talking about, chat? What are we talking about? Ah! Just like think before you say like anything. I don't lose my mind. And in Modern Horizons 2, for the first time in the history of the format, the answers are as good as the threats. And I think that there is actually a really good balance between the threats and the answers in Modern. And I think that the incarnations are a good safety valve in the format. You can disagree. You can disagree. You can make an argument that the incarnations are too good. You can disagree and say, I don't like the incarnations. I think they make the format worse. Those are fine opinions to have. Opinions that the incarnations are more overpowered than Hogak, Uro, Oko, Arkham's Astrolabe, Mystic Sanctuary, Once Upon a Time, Field of the Dead, is just dumb. It's just dumb, you know? Like, you can make arguments without, you know, going so crazy. Oh yeah, Luris too. I just left Luris off the list. I'm 85% sure that the incarnation is better than Ragnar plus Saga. Dude, it just wouldn't be an aspiring Spike stream if I didn't like misinterpret what a chatter says and just like go on a rant for like 5 minutes. Like, what would I do on the stream if I didn't just like wildly misinterpret chatter's comment and go on a long, deranged rant? You know. I'm sorry, I don't know, dude. My bad.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
It's funnier to just misinterpret the stuff, though. There was one recently. Oh, yeah, dude. Someone asked about Dryad in the green-black deck. After people have been asking about Dryad Arbor a bunch. And I was like, God, stop asking about Dryad Arbor. And then they're like, oh, I've just been Dryad of the Elysian Grove, which was like a totally reasonable suggestion. Oh yeah, I think this is the clip of that.
What are we talking about, chat?
What
are we talking about?
I was on an exercise ball, and so that was the vibration you saw. Don't mind Evoke Psycho. What I don't like is getting buried in card advantage from 4-color after the fact. Yeah, I think that's fair. I also hate the 4-color deck. I mostly hate the Omnath though. I'm just so sick of that card. Because I didn't have Delirium. Let's see if this resolves. Unfortunately, I can't unearth my Engineer this turn, but what's better is Engineer just resolving. Listen, chat. I'm putting freaking Parhelions into play today. Modern is a pretty sweet place. Okay, my opponent's playing Grixis, Ledger Shredder nonsense, looks like. So probably want the 4th Grist. Maybe cut like 4th Satyr Wayfinder, just chill.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
I think it's agreed. I have good answers. My problem is that these answers are threats as well, so it's a weird situation. Punishment for playing. Answers became way smaller. That's not benefiting control. It's benefiting like decks like 4-color because they could just play Fear Gas. Yeah, I think that's like a very well structured, good argument. I do think like the idea behind the incarnations being threats too is a way for them to be powerful enough to be, you know, powerful answers rather than just being like, you know, like if Solitude was just, you know, pitch a white card, Swords to Plowshare as a creature with no ability to hardcast the other side, it would probably be too weak.
What's up?
I agree though that the 4-color Omnath deck is miserable to play against. It has a lot of like matchups against the decks that people like to gravitate to. And it's for me, it's like really the card Omnath that I hate out of that deck. But I think that you can take any Magic player, and there's one card in the 4-color Omnath deck they hate. Some people hate the Incarnation, some people hate Wrenn and Six, some people hate Teferi, some people hate Omnath, some people hate all of them. And I'm not trying to gatekeep how to hate cards in Modern. I think Ephemerate was the worst MH2 card. I think that I don't agree that at all Ephemerate was the worst MH2 card. But only because I'm being very annoying, and actually Ephemerate was a Modern Horizons 1 card. It was a Modern Horizons 1 card. I recently got my fancy Japanese Strixhaven Ephemerates. I really like those too. I don't think that Ephemerate is a problematic Modern Horizons 2 card at all. I think it's not at all. Oh yeah, some people do hit up on the growth. Those are the Blood Moon players. Should actually be somewhat safe just to get basic mountain here. Dodge you the swamp. We're thinking about the Bane of Baneslayers in Modern, how basically only Mulldrifters. I think saying that Modern is only Mulldrifters is not true at all. Ragavan and Murktide Regent are like, and Death Shadow are like, you know, all super iconic Baneslayers, you know? Yeah, it's just not true to say that Modern is all like value ETB creatures and no value big buff creatures that deal damage. Especially like a format where like Murktide is like a tier 1 deck. To say the format has no Baneslayers and all Mulldrifters is just not true. Ragavan's a Mulldrifter. I think saying that Ragavan's a Mulldrifter is, I would not classify it that way at all. But you can. I'll let Doom hate on MH2 in any way that he wants to. I think I'm supposed to go for this turn. They do get to eat the... Or if they block Parhelion, that's fine. I guess they're going to block an Angel token, actually, huh? Do I own the deluxe editions of Berserk? Not all of them. Not all of them. Solitude should be given protection instead of being an exile effect to counter Grief Fury. Would have been more interesting. Pitch white, you and permanents you control get hexproof on the turn. I mean, it would have been interesting in the sense that it's like completely unplayable, probably. I don't know. Yeah, I was supposed to swing with the engineer, actually. Good point. I even think like the theory like Mulldrifter versus Planeslayers are that Mulldrifters are cards that are resilient to removal because they do spell-based effects on Enter the Battlefield or die triggers, and you play them for value more so than just to attack like a creature. That's a Mulldrifter, and a Baneslayer is just a powerful creature that is weaker to removal, is kind of my understanding of the concept. So I don't really get calling a Ragavan a Mulldrifter, to be honest. Okay, not quite lucky enough to mill over a Parhelion. It's fine. I'm going to attack with my engineer and unearth it if they block, and they're probably not going to block. Oh wait, I milled over an engineer. Oh, what am I doing? Oh no. Okay. Obviously, I should just unearth, but we'll do that next turn then. I missed that I found one. I was busy rambling about Mulldrifters and Baneslayers. Got in the damage though. Got in the damage. So playing another Murktide, they're going to have a 9/9 and a 5/5 Murktide. They probably still can't attack. Always saw Mulldrifters as cards you didn't care if they remove, still got value. Baneslayers, cards your opponent have to remove or win the game. Yeah, I think Ragavan is maybe like the most iconic Mulldrifter ever under that definition. Okay, unearth an engineer, see what they do. Then go to combat. Parhelion has re-entered the chat. So I'm also going to attack with my 1 power creatures here. And this should be lethal. Don't know what they can have really at this point because they didn't kill my Greasefang. Okay, we're 3-1. I think we did a league prediction. These Coco decks always, or the black-based Coco decks always play really fast. The Bant one's slower. Deck's pretty fun. I feel like this, this idea could maybe even be improved somewhat, but I think Engineer, Greasefang being a 2-card combo that work really well with Collected Company, Unearth is very interesting, and you have a really powerful backup plan B. You're fast. You have a lot of card advantage. I feel like there is something here. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it's like, in my mind, at least entered the good enough to play test domain. Blue in a deck for Faithful Mending. So in a deck with Collected Company and Unearth, you're going to want any of those looting effects to be creature based. So in this deck we have Satyr Wayfinder, we have Goblin Engineer, we have Seasoned Pyromancer, and all these cards work with Collected Company Unearth instead of making you splash a color and diminishing the synergies you have with these cards. Okay, so we did not hit a land, but we did hit a Seasoned Pyromancer that I can unearth and discard Parhelion, which is not too bad. Would I run any Soul Herder? Not in this deck, no. Or should I run in the blue-white deck? No. So again, the idea is that Snapcaster plus Ephemerate are really powerful together. It's really good to ephemerate your Snapcaster, and then Snapcasting back Ephemerate is awkward because you don't get the rebound, but it's still a relatively powerful play to reuse your Solitude, or ephemerate your other Snapcaster. At least that's the idea. Hold on. I think I'm gonna do this. Unearth target Seasoned Pyromancer. Resolve, some discard Parhelion, Seasoned Pyromancer, then play a Greasefang, or sorry, a Spellskite. And Soul Herder, you could the fact that Soul Herder is not a creature you can target to ephemerate for value is tough. But again, also the issue with Snapcaster and Ephemerate is Snapcaster needs you to be playing almost all instants and sorceries. Ephemerate needs you to play a lot of creatures. I think in blue-white you can get away, if you have 4 Consider 2 to cantrip more often, you can get away with just the 12 creatures. And then you can play 2 Teferis, 3 Teferi, Time Ravelers, and then you're in on the Snapcasters and Hall of the Storm Giants and Solitudes as win conditions. So it looks like Creativity. We lost to Creativity earlier this league. Hopefully we can get our revenge here. I think about playing that deck this week. So yeah, my plan is to playtest tonight, and if it's good enough, probably play it tomorrow. I like the idea. I think the building list is gonna be pretty easy too. It's gonna be 4 Consider, 4 Snapcaster, 4 Wall, 4 Solitude, 4 Ephemerate, 4 Counterspell, 4 Archmage's Charm. Maybe the top 8 gets a little weird, but it should be fine. Okay, so if they have Lightning Bolt here, then no, it's too late for them to Lightning Bolt the Greasefang. I've already created the Parhelion. Spellskite cannot change the target of Prismari command. What just happened? Why can't I change the target of destroy target artifact, chat? Is this a bug? Already 2 damage. No, my opponent chose loot. They chose loot, draw 2, discard 2. My opponent would be dead. Also, this is exactly 16. Maybe I misclicked something. I don't know. I think it's a bug. What is the creature suite? Snap Wall Solitude. Yeah, I think just Snap Wall Solitude, only 12 creatures. It's you're skirting the number of creatures you need for Ephemerate a little bit, but if you play 4 Consider, I think you get to cheat a little bit there. Alright, opponent is officially cool. Thank you, opponent. Very cool. So I think I just want maybe 1 Grist for 1 Breya Apprentice on the draw. Then on the play, I'll play Fulminators. So instead I miss this league, that's what we got. YouTube, baby, and then maybe future streams too. It's our second league with the deck. Deck tech for budget is small posh. Okay, I could take a look. The budget deck techs are always tricky because I'm not always sure exactly what you're looking for, but I can talk about it. You misclicked. It asked if you wanted to change the player target. I clicked yes. Okay. Sorry, opponent. Yeah, I mean, the user interface is like a nightmare there. I don't know. I mean, like, as far as like legitimate playtesting, opponent is dead there for what it's worth. I don't know. Hey, Comey, 12 months, appreciate you. Okay, Pun says no worries. As expected, because they're very cool. Okay, I'm gonna keep. What's kind of cool about this hand is my opponent has an Archon, I can discard Parhelion and then Greasefang the Parhelion, and then maybe still die to Archon. I know that good slow mid-range decks like Omnath cause the format to speed up with combo. What usually makes them slow down again? I mean, just like the general ebb and flow of the format. Was the smallpox deck tech posted to chat? I didn't see it. From Toaster. Take your time. Two Mole Drifters. Probably in. I like the idea of Panda a lot. Then you have 14. Probably end up being like more Mole Drifters at the end of the day. Like at least 3. I'm in. I'll mess around with it tonight. Hammer out the list. Okay, no creativity is nice. With can't stay away my hand, I'm definitely just jamming Greasefang. I think if they have Bolt, they yeah, I think they just messed up actually. Okay, opponent is packing it in. Very fast, match 4. So we went 3-2, 4-1 the last 2 leagues. Okay, I'm definitely. I also wanted some subtleties, Panda, in the list too. I don't know how hard you tried to work on it too, but I wanted like maybe I was thinking like 1 subtlety main, like 3 side or something like that. But I don't know. This is like a deck I've been like theory crafting for like since before Modern Horizons 2, and just seeing it like laid out, I think it looks more doable than I kind of thought. Okay. I think that this Greasefang deck has got potential. I remember back when Greasefang first came out, I was like messing around with Greasefang in the food deck, and we had like some 3-2s. It was fine. It just wasn't as good as this list. Like, but just Greasefang Engineer fits so well into the Coco Unearth gel. I think this deck's really cool. It's probably not like, you know, an amazing